Okay, before I start on this, sometimes my videos are comedy, sometimes they're education. You're going to get a little bit of both today. This is what I'm going to need. Look at that, I already scratched my knuckle on something. Rock Auto's been by my house, and I don't know if I'd mentioned it. Last time I did a box opening, who cares? I know it's trendy, it's not my generation, but the carburetor, the tune-up, all of that I have not touched yet. I'm actually doing these videos, like I say, on the weekends and stuff, and so sometimes when I introduce something and get it done, it takes time. So, let me show you what we're gonna do. Inside here, let me get it out. This one I already opened to check it when I first got it in the mail.
Fighting with the manifest and the bubble wrap and the box in a box.
This Rock Auto, if you haven't used them, everybody uses them, but if you haven't used them, I got $200 worth of stuff here and $49 worth of shipping. You kind of got to be serious about getting it there because it's hard to return. So hopefully I did this right, but these were like $150 everywhere else. It was $47 on Rock Auto. We'll open the hood in a second and see, Mary, if this is the right one.
Yeah.
This is I just went ahead and got a whole new part.
Whole new master brake cylinder.
Yeah, that came separate. I had to so the secret is when you click on something on Rock Auto, you get down through the menu, you get your car, your vehicle. The first item you buy is going to show a little shipping truck, and sometimes there's little hearts. The little hearts are what everybody else loves. I don't know where they get their data. The shipping truck will say A, B, or C. If you are shipping one item, that little truck will show up on the other items you're looking at, so you can put all of your stuff in one shipping location. So this all came shipping A, and that one was shipping B, which meant it came from a different warehouse, a different location. I don't know where. I guess I could have tracked it with my tracker and stuff, but I didn't. So in here is all the other stuff. So what it did is it motivated me to click on the same like items from the same shipping location.
Then you pay less for shipping
I
because it's
pay
all
less
done
for
from the
shipping.
same place.
Yeah, that's the idea. And sometimes you can fool around with that, go back and forth into your cart, look at what costs are going to be. You know,
shop around.
You know, again,
oh, come on.
I got a comment a while back from somebody who said this is just like the everyday man doing it. I am the everyday man. You are the everyday man. We know. We know that things cost money. Why do you think we're doing this stuff? Yes, I blurted out my label so you guys can't come visit me. All right, what did we get in here? Oh, we got some shipping stuff.
Little airbags.
That'll keep the birds away. All right, what did I get? I got a hose.
Probably 4 of them, huh?
Well, you only need 3. Because in the back it goes to the axle and the front goes to the side.
Yeah,
so in theory I should have 2 that are the same. One lot is not like the other. That's not like the other. That's like the other. So those should be my fronts. Lord, I hope these are right.
You've gotten pretty good at it.
They just throw it all in the box.
And then they put paper and plastic puffing on top.
Yeah,
and call
a lot
it
of
good.
this stuff, the thing about Rock Auto is cheap for a reason. Either this stuff is set on shelves or it's just like this, it's been damaged. Well, inside here, I don't know if you can see all that. That's all the new springs, pins, bushings. Those are like $4, right? So why would you try to reuse an old spring set when you can just use that? There should be enough for one set, front or back, and I got them for both. Ooh, that box is beat. Yeah. My cooking show table. Oh, look what's in here. Master brake cylinder. Now, I believe That's 67, 68 Camaro. I bought another front end over there, which we showed briefly. It looks the same. Using that, I went for it. I hope I'm right. But I don't know that they used all the parts. But either way, I know the system will work together, and if I have to modify the Jeep, okay, this is interesting.
As we all know, he's terrified of modifying things, and he doesn't do it at all.
I'm so reluctant. So inside here, this is...
Don't pour it out. You'll make a mess.
It's already poured out. That's a wheel cylinder kit, okay? Some of them I was able to get new wheel cylinders, and some of them were just the kits. So if you've ever... you know what? I'll probably have to show you when I do brakes. Today's not a brake day. I'm just showing you the crap so you guys can stay interested. Anyways, there's springs, rubbers. In theory, everything's new. I'll reuse the housing. I have a little brake hone that I've had for years. I'll show you how to do that. There should be 2 of these. Those are fronts, rears. I don't know. This is interesting. Made in China. AC Delco. These are 2 different boxes. It's supposed to be a left and a right. Let's see if they did it right. Oh yeah. Other boxes won't stay closed, Mary. Others won't stay open. So there's a little wheel cylinder.
I'll show you guys all a close-up on the table later.
They don't really care about brakes. The brakes are the most boring part of the internet.
When we say brakes and wiring is the most boring to watch.
They don't really look the same. They're the same, I guess. Oh well. Which one came out of which box? Don't know. Alright. And then in here, Rock Auto always sends you a sticker, their propaganda sticker.
It's a magnet.
James Renault, built with Rock Auto parts. It's a Renault. Oh, now it's a Willys.
Magnets to Willys. I thought you were going to put it on the shop door.
So here's the other set for the other. So I probably don't want to mix these up. And the paper's supposed to tell me, but if that doesn't work out, then I have to get smart. So I'll just keep those separated. And then I got the brake shoes. They actually look like they're in a shoe box. These are not disc brakes, Mary. These are shoe brakes.
I know the difference. Then they press out onto the bell.
Yeah. So inside here is shoes. These are riveted. They're probably better than the glue-on. I actually kind of wanted the riveted ones. And now, let's get this box out of the way.
Look at you. That shoebox is bigger, Darian.
I know, and I was like, well, why? What's going on?
Probably different generations. The parts are trying to escape out the back.
These ones are stuck on the front. These ones are riveted. So these must be the backs.
I'll show the folks.
I hope I did it right, because that's what it said, fronts and rears. And rears were heavy duty because they were riveted. And that I put the heavy duty brakes on because I have a toolbox on the back.
Because it's heavy.
That's what I thought. Anyways, I went with the same company on that. True Arc brake shoes, Dynamic Friction Company. I don't know. You tell me. But I thought, well, at least they're matched. So if they're terrible, they're terrible. Anyways, what's on the table is $200, and then the shipping. It should be a complete brake. The only thing I don't have is if we need some steel lines replaced, we'll have to replace steel lines. Otherwise, it's rubber, wheel cylinders.
Well, you know how to
springs.
do those. They sell those wholesale-y.
Yeah, that's no big deal. I get stuff locally. But now I'm going to have my drums turned, and they did sell drums, but again, they're heavy. I didn't want to pay for shipping. So I was going to have those turned down at my local O'Reilly's. I think they're $10 a drum, and I have 4. But I also have 3 batteries, and they're worth $10 change for $3. You know,
so it's a $10 job.
So that's what I figured is I'll get rid of batteries.
And they do the work for you.
And I get the drums turned. But we're not doing that at all today.
I wanted to show you the crappy rusty chrome that came with it. So,
Mary, do you remember where these wires went?
No, I don't know what they're for. We always have to rewire everything anyway, so.
I'm going to tape these up here. Because they're not down
We
there.
should have taped up all the wires when we were trying to put the body back on. Where was that genius?
I don't know. So let's look at this. And I also got to show, I think in a video a while back, the two nuts.
You've said it in 3 or 4 videos.
They go down there.
Trying to find them.
I haven't put them on yet because I just get. Oh, and then look at here, Mary. You see those 2 rust holes?
It's for breathing. AC.
Oh, no problem.
Wet toes.
No problem.
Rebuilding.
You remember that? Maybe you'll have to find that clip. Remember the Simpson one where he says, Bart, let me teach you how to shave, and then ooh, and you take a little piece of tissue, put it there, 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 and everywhere else you're bleeding. And here, everywhere else you got a hole in you, we put a piece of tape. Anyways, no, it looks like this is the right jazz.
What did you call it? The jazz?
Jazz.
Is that what it's called, or is that what old man is calling it?
So drum brakes, in case anyone hasn't followed the internet long enough to know, this is where I actually learned it. But no, that's true. These are the same size, because the drums are the same size. This is a proportioning valve. These are for drum brakes, so they should be the same size.
You got new valves, or you think it's good?
Oh, this probably, it worked. The brakes worked. I'm just giving them new stuff. And then this is power brakes. But you see all this trash right here, Mary? See all that stuff leaking down there?
You don't really know. It's rust proofing.
This was $40, $47. This was like $39. This was quite heavy. The two of these are like where most of my
weight shipping.
Yeah, that's where it came by. So, but when I look here at the firewall, come around this side. It's riveted, bolted. It's got that angle. It's got these two holes. I would say we got the right parts. If I was a betting man.
Like I say, you did this all on your onesie.
I'm trying to include you.
Well, I know what you're doing.
We got the right parts, and the reason is because I figured out what they were using for a car, and this is what I did.
I'd be a blind mole rat on Rock Auto.
What?
A blind mole rat. I wouldn't be able to do anything on Rock Auto.
Oh, you'd be blind. So let's do the tune-up stuff. We got to do something. Let's start with something. I kind of thought about taking that off, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, that seems like a lot of work. 3 1/4.
Yeah.
To the no, it was 5 1/4.
5 1/4 to the center. It was
so I'm at 5 1/2 right now. By getting rid of that nut. So I just need another 1/4 inch, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you can thread it past that though, or slide it.
Maybe the pedal will just come up further, and Bob's your uncle.
Half an inch, a quarter of an inch.
No, because the brake switch was already bottomed out when we started. I need to take a die and go a 1/4 inch. Okay.
1/4 inch is like 4 threads.
Exactly.
It'll be fine.
Exactly. That's what I need to do. But then I don't have a jam nut on the outside.
Well, write yourself a list. Since we got to go to the parts store, you got all your cardboard for listing.
But if I jam that on there, is it really going to ever be a problem? I mean,
well, yeah, you can grinder it down smoother so you can shove it in further and then tack it into place.
Put that nut inside there possibly and thread it, and then it just bottoms out.
Much to percolate.
Well, just make them the same. You know?
They didn't have it to compare.
Warning, this is not made like yours. You remember whenever I showed it last, I took all this off. So what they've done, in case you're not familiar with these conversions, is it's typical for somebody to take parts off another car and add them to these wheelies. I've seen this before. I've done this before. One time on a Willys wagon that was 4-wheel drive, I had a big block Chevy 454, and I used the hydraulic power brake system and everything, and I adapted it to the very similar firewall. Basically, you just cut that and you add the GM stuff on the inside with the pedal, so you're using all the GM stuff. So this GM stuff should bolt right to that GM stuff. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry about the wind. I'm outside, of course. The GM stuff on the inside where the pedal hanger is, the steering column support, all that you just put through, and then this will go right back on. I was just about ready to throw this on, and I thought, you know what? I don't want this to rust, so I'm probably going to clean it, paint it, probably off camera, just let it set in the shop till the next time I work on it. But what I will do is I think we're going to jack it up. Take that wheel off, and I'll do this side with the brakes. Again, if the rotors need to be turned, drums. If the drums need to be turned, I can drop them off. I've still got it up on these cribs. Okay, so I'm about ready to kick this off, and I thought I should film this in case it goes wrong. So for a month, this is sat up here with that block of wood under the wheel. You see the other one, the wind's already blown it out from the second side. I couldn't trust that block. So I've set it up with a couple of slowdowns. Bonk, 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 and then it'll just bonk into that. Smash my Allen block. I don't think it will, but it's rolled off of there before when I was setting it off camera. So let's see what happens. Oh, that wasn't even tight. So I say I don't like it being up here. Let me set you guys up so when it smashes the wall you can see it. There you go. Well, it hit the wall a little bit. Let's go check the damages. I don't know, again, the speech. Why is everything I own junk? Well, it's not, but it is. But you get the realistic feel for it being down. Yeah, I touched it right there. Right there. Oh, and right there on the rubber bumper. This was already mashed. That's something I gotta deal with someday. So, I guess I could have put the blocks closer. Anyways, let's check it out. Let's see how cool it looks now down on the ground. Well, I'll get that trash out of the way. It looks better in real life than it ever will on camera. You know, so now here's the fender. And there you go. That's about even with the, well, about even with the bottom of my pocket. Top of my knee is the fender. So it's pretty low. You know, here's the top. So I'm 5'8"-ish, 5'8". And I'm taller than this then, so it's pretty low. This is actually quite miniaturized. It may not show it on camera, but she's a cool one. So let me move all the trash, get back with you on jack stands, and once again we'll take the wheels off. Okay, I'm still doing the brakes, but I thought, well, I might as well get this going while it's not raining. I put a little tape on the areas I didn't want. I used some brake clean. Gave it a couple of those. I had this silver. You saw me put it on the drums one time. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, these come with a little bit of oil, grease, whatever on the surfaces. So I cleaned all that off, so hopefully the paint will stick. If it doesn't, again, it's under the hood. It's not the end of the world. It's just an opportunity to try to make it look a little better. Some people just throw it on there, put it together. That's fine. Do what you want. This is free paint and free time. It gives me a chance to yammer. And when I'm yammering about, hey, new subscribers, welcome aboard, appreciate it. As you figured out, I'm a small channel. I work a lot. I try to do this. Mary and John are my son and daughter. You may have seen John in previous videos. He's currently taking a job that's night shift. So, and Mariana has some health issues that sometimes prevent her from being outside too much, but she's excellent on the video editing and computer part. So that's where I fail, so it all works out. So make sure to drop her a line. You guys, we have an email if you have questions, comments. Hit that bell, okay? Hit that bell, and you guys will notice that every Wednesday morning, AM, we put out a video every week. We've done 107 of those consistently. I'm setting myself up for success, and hopefully we'll get into the, once you hit 1,000 subscribers, which is my goal, or more, then you're eligible for different things in the YouTube algorithm and such. Part of that is income. There's an income potential through some advertising. Great. What that means is if I get some money out of it, I can do better and better projects. I'm not necessarily interested in doing it for a living because I have a full-time job and I'm happy with where I'm at. But I enjoy the hobby. So, as a hobbyist, I would love to have this hobby pay for itself. And you guys can help me by doing that. Subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. Before I go on to the brakes, I know I'm still dragging. I got to build a battery box here. What do you guys think? Having a stand come off the frame and having the battery just set completely free, or bolting it to this thin aluminum panel? I'm personally thinking, I did that on the 53 Ford. I brought it up and had a panel here of steel, and then it moved with the frame. It all seemed to be better. I was going to cut this. This is something I found in my collection. When was the last time you seen one of these, right? It's fitting for the year. I can put that right down there on one of the bolts and then connect the battery up. I also have the option of using the one that came on the GM stuff. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, yeah, we're moving along. So let me get the jack out. This is gonna dry. It's gonna look real sharp. I probably ought to do the master brake cylinder as well, but that's like another day. Today I just want to do the hardware. You know, time's limited, frustration level. These things can get away from you if you're not careful. Please don't let that happen on your projects. Don't give up. Do what you can, where you can. You will see results. Don't wait for it to be perfect. What do they say? Don't get it right, get it going. Well, I say get it as right as you can and get it going. That's what I say. And you are going to have a limit to your skill set. That's a fact of life. When you find that, work around it, figure it out, get some help. You can do it for sure. All right, get yourself a Jeep. You're gonna love the workbench they come with. They're real handy. I like to set my tire up like that. I can set my bum right on it. I like to cross my legs like this so that I'm not under there. And now you see I painted these. The fronts are wider and they have the venting on them, right? So some people think drums aren't as good as discs. They're probably right. However, they have a large surface. They just don't cool as quickly. In this case, it's not going to matter for what I'm doing with the vehicle. So you can save yourself a lot of money and run this, or you can do a conversion. That's up to you. But like I say, in my case, this is a local vehicle. We're going to use it locally occasionally. So let me go grab some tools. We'll break the nuts off, take it all apart. And if I need extra pieces, I still have that other front end that I could always steal from. Okay, before I start on this, sometimes my videos are comedy, sometimes they're education. You're going to get a little bit of both today. This is what I'm going to need. Look at that, I already scratched my knuckle on something. This is what you're going to need. I use this Chinese-made Husky. I got a crappy Harbor Freight that, some decent Vaughn hammers. I've got one of these. I have never been overly impressed with this. This piece right here, let me show you that little shape right there. This part here is for the, I'll show you where this is supposed to work. But sometimes I use a Phillips head screwdriver. It has the same shape and the spring will slide off a little bit easier because the diameter's smaller. Needle nose pliers, a screwdriver, a little pry bar, some vice grips. These cutters, no, I'm not going to cut the spring with them, but sometimes you can get them a little bit better bite. The line wrenches, I'm not sure of the size. That would be used right there to get that apart. I've got new hoses, wheel cylinders. This might be the front where I have to rebuild the wheel cylinders. I'm not sure. Let's get rolling. Let me set you guys up. You can watch me destroy, work, function. Oh, the camera is goofy. I got this really flexible mount. And again, if I had Johnny or Mary, they could do better. And I'm not saying that I'm not doing good, because you guys seem to be still watching, and I appreciate that. I just always like to do the best I can. And I don't feel that having the camera in one place as a flexible mount is the best I can. So let's leave it there. All right, and action. It doesn't want to, and I don't want to mess up the edge. I'll put a piece of wood. Can you guys see? I'll put a piece of wood on that and whale it. Anyways, move it to the side. So this is your brakes. They're actually not bad, they're just old. Well, I don't want old, I want new and nice. So let me bring your camera in here. Don't get intimidated, first of all, by this. This is the adjuster. Let me use my pointer. This is the adjuster. This has a spring that holds it up to there, and then that little spring goes on the foot, and it has a rocking motion, and that will click. I don't know if I can, there you go. Get it to click. Now, if you need to adjust these, ideally you would align that and you could click it. And then up top, you've got this big spring here, and then you've got this spring, let's move the spider webs, that connects onto that, which is putting tension down at the same time it's countering there. And then that's all being held on by this, but then that spring that's red, this was green once, they go over like that. That's the wheel cylinder. They're actually in pretty good shape. The brakes did work. So this is preventative maintenance. Now, a couple of ways of doing this. Hopefully you can see. You get a pry bar in there, and you can roll that right around. Film the camera at the same time, Darian. Let me put you on pause. Okay, I got you propped up on a little stand. If I don't bump it, you'll be good to go. And I can use both hands. Anyways, what I was saying is sometimes this is where your vice grip are already going to be problems. You know, you guys are just in the way. I don't even know if you're interested in seeing this, because there's a gazillion YouTube videos where guys do brakes. I'm not unique. I'm just a gazillionaire on the YouTube. Gazillionaire, different way of doing it. Alright, sometimes you can, a needle nose pair works better than these, but I don't have a needle nose pair. I have had them. Lord knows where they're at. I think I chewed them up one day and threw them away. These don't last forever, even though they look like it. So if you put a vice grip on the spring, you can keep it on the spring, and then you can just give it a heave and a hoe, and over she goes. Now this will come out this way. Okay. This is the spring. That does not actually hook to anything, but it goes in the hole, and this part rests up against the back. Now, I have a kit that has all these new. Is it the right kit? Is the quality the same? I don't know. So I'm going to hold on to everything. What I like to do is lay it out on the ground where it goes. See, I'm going to make a spot here. I'm going to lay out all this stuff. I'll show you as we go. Now I do that, and I only do one side at a time. The old rule is if you get screwed up, you're going to go look at the others. Now looking at the shoe, the big one's on back, the smaller one's on front. I guess that's the way it's supposed to go. I've been told that's the way it's supposed to go. I am not a brake expert. I just put it back the way I found it. And we'll do the same thing. So now, I could take this apart here, or I could take it apart here, or I could drop this other half off. Sometimes this one's a real challenge, and we'll see how it goes today. Each one's a little different. I put that right there. I bite onto that spring. That gives me something to hold on to. And then I can just drop it off, get rid of the vice grip. All right, that one won't, there it goes. See, that's the same kind of spring, and it goes that way. And again, once this is in the hole, it just rests up against there. It's a bind, and then it would hook there. So I'll lay him out the same way. And you'll notice that one was over the top and one was under. Again, the vice grip, we put him right there. Sometimes they'll do that, but we remember how it went like this, and you see that hook's right there. There's a hook system. Okay, so then we'll put him right there on the ground. Now we're getting to the point where I can actually start twisting these apart. This tool here was supposedly something like that. This, I don't like it. What I like to do, this is where we call these noodle nose pliers sometimes, the kids and I. Take our needle nose, and if you put on the back side, you'll feel the nail, they call it a nail or a pin. You give that thing a little bit of a quarter turn twist. And there you go, you drop the cap off. There's the spring. These are painted blue, sometimes they're different. I'll put it on the side here, put my cap there. The nail is just hanging in there. This is the nail. This is where your brakes fail. This will rust. This nail will collapse. When you apply the brake, it'll fold in, and it'll give you challenges in life. Now, if I take it apart here, you see, watch what's happening with the bottom. I could get this to drop out, and I can remove that spring. Come on, you. There we go. So now this is the shoe. There are differences. Typically it's the liner, but there are differences, and there's some holes we're not going to use and some holes we do use. Anyways, I take the spring, I drop him off, I put the shoe there, I put the spring down there, going the same way. Then I come to this side. Okay, there goes the adjuster. The only thing holding this mess on is my nail and spring system. Give that a push in, quarter turn, out she comes. Now this one, hopefully you can see this. This one has all the jazz on it. Now I'm going to leave all the jazz on it until I have the other shoe, and I'll transfer it right over. Otherwise I'll lay it down. So this is essentially what I have here. The adjuster, it fell out, but which way did it go? It went that way, didn't it? So now this is a small, well, it's an exploded version of what I need to put back together. So now I haven't messed with this, and I'll put that on there. That goes on first, as you remember, and then the springs go over the top of it. These are a real bugger. I've had these break before, and they're a real bugger to get. Not that they're hard to get, but you got to take that out and it's threaded into the thing. But I've had a hard time finding these, so may not be an issue for you. So what's left? Wheel cylinder and a hose. So on the back side here, there's going to be a couple of little small, what we probably should do is break the line first. And so let's use our line wrenches. Is it this one? I think we've gone over this a couple of times. They're just heavier and thicker, so they fit on there. You see all that paint? I've painted it, you've painted it, everybody's painted it. This one worked just fine. Washington, they say it rains a lot. That's true, but it's not that bad. We don't have any salts and such, so our stuff stays together pretty good. Can use the other end. Wrong size. This is one that, so that was a 3/8, and this is in pretty good shape. So we'll just go ahead and take her right on apart. These hard lines can be made. There's tools for them. I usually just end up buying the shortest, or the line that's closest at the store, and I put a loop in it, or I let it kind of hang. It's kind of hacky, I get it, but I've tried to do the ends and I found that they've leaked, so I try to leave the factory wherever I can. There are tools, I just don't own one. I don't currently do this enough to merit it. Okay, now there's a dog right here. Okay, this again is where the vice grips, that's all right for that fluid to run out. I really don't mind, because there is no master brake cylinder or anything. I'm going to get all of it out before I, so this, holding the camera is the hardest part of this job. All right, you see all right in there? Here we go. Put this vice grip on there. You bugger. Sometimes it'll work. Otherwise, an orange pry bar. It's used to being there, so it doesn't want to come out right away. And then I got a bite on that. This is where a lot of people would cut the video and say, oh, once I pulled that out, it was no problem. Well, pulling that out might be 20 minutes in some cases. I got to reuse that clip. So, I kind of need that clip. I've had a hard time finding those clips. And now I've got it rotating. It was just loaded up with dirt and paint. Okay, she's close. Now sometimes I can put a screwdriver in its notch there. Yeah, like I say, there it goes. Okay, so that's the clip. And the reason that's important is that this hose, oops, now it's stuck in there from time. The line is loose. There it goes. So that's what holds it in, is that clip pinches it. and it's just a fit that goes up like so. So now the last thing to do is the wheel cylinder, which I don't know if you can see those bolts back there. What size are they? Do you guys know? 3/8. Let's try 3/8. Get rid of our last nail. Feel behind there. A smart man would turn the wheel. I'm not a smart man. Yeah. All right, gonna turn the wheel. Okay, welcome back. You didn't miss nothing. I got a light. I can see what I'm doing now. But you're never gonna be able to see what I'm doing. So let's adjust the stupid camera. You can see it in real time. Here's Darian adjusting his camera mount. Mary sometimes puts those bloopers in there. That's up to her. Okay. All right, boy, you guys are in luck. These are the items I've shown you before. These should have the same part number because the front should be the same left to right. That should be the same. So let's have all of our stuff blow away in the wind. So this one should, it appears to be the correct hose. Now we'll cut this in half and you'll see the inside. You guys have seen that on videos where they cut those and they're colossal rolled up. These were $3 or $4. At the store they're like $20. So not a problem to purchase those. Now these are wheel cylinders. Did I get fronts or rears? I don't remember. Some were rebuild, some were not. Okay, these are rears. So now, oh boy, you guys are in luck. You get to learn about how to rebuild a wheel cylinder from these crappy boxes that have been abused. And these are abused. And there, I think I showed you before, a couple of rubbers and a spring. We're gonna, oops. Anyways, look at the fluid in there. It's just absolute garbage. So by doing this, I'm not hurting myself. You say, well, it worked. Well, it didn't work for long. But we're gonna reuse the housing, get rid of the hose. I need to get my vise out. We gotta take the bleeder out. Before we do that, I think I'm gonna get some paint going on this side. My day is slipping away. And sometimes the videos, I know I've heard some people say I cut them short, whatever. Hey, you're gonna see it all, okay? I'm a working man. I'm slipping you in when I can. But I'm gonna get all this cleaned up, paint this, put a rag over that, clean that, get all the grime off this. And then when we go to put it back together, I'll definitely show you that. There's a good chance you're never gonna see the other three because this is the same principle over and over, and I'll have to fit that in someday. I don't know when. Anyways, let's get going. Okay, before I start this guy up here and show you how this works, let me show you. I washed this down real fast. I washed all that backing plate. I washed all the parts. Probably not going to use very many of those because we have new stuff, but got it all rinsed off. I'll dry it real quick with my leaf blower, then I'll put some paint on there, then we'll get on to this guy. Okay, I moved on. Paint's drying over there. I don't even think I filmed it. Doesn't matter, it's paint. So I got this in the vise. Now I can successfully take this off. Oh yeah, you're supposed to use a wrench like that, not the other way. Okay. So there's a copper washer right here. Yeah, they're supposed to be. You're not supposed to reuse those, but they don't come with new stuff, and the ones that do come with are thin as hell, so sometimes you end up reusing them. If you develop a leak or a soft pedal, you check your washer. They do not make quality anymore. It is worth a hoot. Maybe if I can leave it there, that'll be alright. So now, how do you get these apart? I'll show you. Take your compressed air hose, take your compressed doodad. And this is done. Okay, we'll do it like that. I felt it pop already, but we've got these rubber boots in the way. So let me get some pliers and pull them boots off. I feel like I'm a walking mess right now. I got stuff everywhere. I'm trying to beat the weather. Alright. Here's why I'm doing it. See all that trash in there? Okay. How long was that going to last for? That's why we're doing it. The steel part's alright, but the rubber inside, the seals, the corrosion. Clearly this has been contaminated from water. Huh. There we go. Copper washer. Save in for there. See if I can get this out. You see what happened there? See what? That worked it right out. That we're going to reuse. This is one of the cups. It's in pretty good shape. That's the spring. We got a new one of those. Let me get the rest of this rubber off. Okay, that's the seal. Now this one on this side, let me get a screwdriver. Okay, it's going to be done. So, we're going to have to give it a tap, tap, taparoo. And there's the other cap and seal. You can see all the contaminants in there, right? So now what do we got left? Well, I don't know if you can see. We got this mess. So now we'll take our old rag here. We'll slip him through. And we'll see what we got. Be prepared to get dirty to do this. Quite a bit of stuff in there, but it doesn't look too bad otherwise. If moisture gets into the brake system, that's where the corrosion comes from, the rust. I'm just scraping that right out of there in between where the seals were. And it's pretty clean otherwise. This is just the center void. Now I have a hone. But before we do a hone, let's get that bleeder apart. Do I use the adjustable nut lathe? No. Should use a socket. Let's see if it comes free. Nope. Well, toolkit over here. Roll them off the ground onto the table again. Of course, you guys can hear the wind picking up. This all might be rock and roll music, or disco, or nursery rhymes. Who knows? Okay, this is the hone I'm talking about. It's just like a cylinder hone, but it's for our brakes. I've had this one for 25 years, like everything. So, you're supposed to have some kind of lubricant on there. They say brake fluid. I don't want to make that mess, so I'm going to use this. So So what it's going to do is we get it in here. Okay, nothing magic about that. I lost the rag. Did the wind blow it away? Found it. Okay, now let's see what we got. That looks pretty good. I might go a little further, but it definitely did the job we needed it to do. I don't know if you can see in there how much cleaner that is. Yeah, up the top edge, I got to clean that with a, but we've cleaned that up. These are cast iron. They're cast steel. They're not going to get wore out. You know, these can be rebuildable 100 times, probably. This is original GM stuff. Here it even says that they're it looks like 1.125". So I mean, this is a classic Americana. Now, do you buy new ones? Can you buy new ones? Sure. Are they US made? No. Is my rebuild kit US made? Probably not. This reminds me of when you go to the dentist and they get in there with that metal and they scrape, and you're like, why are you doing that to my teeth? If you go every 6 months like you're supposed to, it's not too bad. But if you wait 5 years, ask me how I know. I go every 6 months now. There's no way I'm going to wait another 5 years. I was young. I was youthful. I didn't need to go, even though I had insurance. Never had the time. Remember when you were young, you didn't have time for anything? I don't have any time. Now when you got old, you're like, yeah, definitely going to the dentist this month or every 6 months or whatever. You got time for it. All right. So now she's clean. I will need to get some brake fluid out. And I will show you how to assemble this. Stand by. Okay, so I cleaned these up. You reuse these. I didn't really worry about this side. I needed to spend more time on it. I'm trying to get frustrated with the weather and stuff. Anyways, you can read on there 1.125". Okay, so now you remember how it goes? There's 5 pieces. There's this. It goes in, and then this pushes against that like that. Okay, and then there's the rubber on here and the spring in between. So what we need to do, when we set that parts down, got a little brake fluid. It's gonna be a mess out where I do this. Put that up there, what could go wrong? So I'm going to try it this way. Push it in like that. That's good. Take my deal like this. He goes in like that. And my outer seal like this. Oh great, they're not. Oh yeah, there it goes. They say they're different. It's not an internal, it's an external seal apparently. This might not work. The kit might be wrong, things might be bad. I might have to go downtown and buy them again. Yeah, see this kit? Screwed myself. See, this one has a style that the inside, internal. The kits that came with it are external. The interior parts are right. See if I can make this work. Because all this is essentially a dust boot. Oh yeah, it'll work. It's just different. Same, not same. I don't know if it'll bolt to my plate though. Okay, so there's that. I got our pin to put in there. Now, take the spring, put him in there. take the other seal and put some oil on it. Let me give me a second here. Wind's picking up. All right. My son-in-law showed up to do a little work on his van. So if you hear some noise in the background, ignore it. Okay, so then when I get this seal, I get it slid in. This one, you kind of got to work the edges a little bit. You're pushing against the spring. You get him in there. Okay, got it. Good, great. Then I take the cup. I push him in there. There it is. Take the seal. Put him in there. Looking for the impact gun?
I got an impact. I just need a.
Oh shoot! I was too slow. Probably 19 millimeters, which will be inside the shop. Start over. Yeah, what you want to do is get all the dirt you can in your part. Just dang vice. Okay, tighten it up. Clean off my parts. Yeah, it's a joy. Come on, tighten up. Put that in there. Put that one in there. Universal kits, you know, you're going to get universal parts that may universally fit something universally. Alright. Well, that's like putting kids back on a pants back on a toddler, getting that thing back on. Okay. You get that on there. We'll call it a day. We're going to call that one rebuilt. It doesn't look much better. The insides look better. Then I'll put the bleeder back in. Leave him a little bit cracked. And I'll get you set up for the next part. Alright, believe it or not, it's taken me 30 minutes to install that. These rubbers were different, and it was a real bugger to get the bolts lined up behind and to draw it in. So I'm hoping it'll work. The hose went together beautiful. That was absolutely correct. No problems. So now I'm to this point. Sorry if this is boring. This is just what I'm at right now. So let's get you set up. Okay, these are the brakes. They were on the ground just like that. I've set them here. This is my stuff. Big shoebox full of junk. When you get anything from Rock Auto, it's going to come beat to hell. I don't know what they do to it or why they do it like that, but you see that they are just beat. So you're getting them cheap for a reason. Remember that, and they're hard to return. Okay, so these should be my stuff. If the computer is pretty accurate that they use, that part is no problem. Okay, I got a short side and I got a long side. Now you want to make sure that all the doodads are the same. This one looks all right, so she's a winner. Put our old one right there. This is the long one, right? Flip it over this way. This looks like it's going to be the same here. So now that whole piece is off. Essentially just goes like that. That's the extent of it. So now let's go over and actually let's get rid of those, because this is for the other side. So when you buy them the set, the other side front. There. Now I have these two boxes, and they're different part number. And again, they all come beat to hell. I didn't do this. But in there you've got this set. The wind is ferocious today. And you got this set. One of these is front, one of these is back. And they're different part numbers. 87104 and this, China. So now I have to know which size. Oh, yeah, everything's blown away. Give me a second, I gotta clean up. Hold on. All right, the wind is still giving me havoc. So I'm looking at this. You remember those blue springs? That's the crossbar right there for like an emergency brake bar. We don't have that on the front. So I'm going to think it's these is my set that I want. Otherwise, you got to, like, I don't have a... I think in this is it. I wish that I knew better. Yeah, I could go into Rock Auto, look at my receipt, blah, blah, blah. I could do all that. Am I? No. Let's see. Once you open it, all the pieces are lost. And there's double everything because there's two sides. So I don't see that spring in this kit. The big ones, the white ones, the red ones, these pins. So over here, typically you see these blue ones. They're oblong shaped. I don't know if you can tell that shape. It's usually for a crossbar that would go on an emergency brake. So I'm going to say that's the back. This is the front. Let me go get set up. We'll assemble it. So this is my adjuster. I picked it up off the ground. This one spins free. You're going to want to have that spin free on you. If not, take it apart, oil it. This one I'm not going to do anything with. This one's in good shape. So now we're over here. Let me get set out. And you remember how I said lay these out? I've got a blue one. I've got that orange one. I've got this blue one, this blue one. Well, those colors don't seem to matter over here now. So, let's just see what we can do. Okay, the weather is really deteriorating on me right now. My son-in-law was able to help me on this side. I was getting mad at it. I couldn't do everything at once, so sometimes you need help. He was able to fix his van. He's just cleaning up. He put new, funny, brake day Saturday, I guess. He was putting new rear brake pads and rotors on his minivan. My daughter and him went on a trip and they had some issues, and so it was just maintenance. So now I'm down to just doing the top. I got help on that. You see that the green and the yellow springs are on the other side. Well, I'm thinking the person before me had the longer one. You see the longer one was on this other side over here. But now I've switched it because this is a lot more stuff. And so I'm thinking that evened it out, and that helped me switching the springs. So now, do you remember what we did? Aha, we needed this piece, didn't we? And it went right up there and went around that. And then there was a spring. Do you remember which side it was? It was this one. It was this one here. And that one closest is this one. So they should be the same. They are. And that will hook into there. So let me set you up and see if I can do that. All right. You guys missed it. I'm sorry. I kept hitting the camera with my elbow. The magic worked. That was able to get those dropped on. This is it. I'm done. Okay. I have to do something with the wheel cylinder bearings. You've seen it before. I'm cutting the video. I'm finished. I'm going to have to do these other three. This has taken me nearly 3 hours to film this segment just for today. I'm going in the house. I'm washing my hands. I'm taking a deep breath. All that stuff I'm going to do. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to get this old Willys on the road. We're going to have some fun. It's going to serve a purpose, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Enjoy your day. Talk to you later.